especially if you're going to be flying, could only
You're
be
always
helpful.
looking for things to lower your blood pressure when you fly as much as I do.
So she's putting on her goggles and a bowler hat. She checks her pocket watch, adjusts her rocket and back. She laces up her boots and puts her makeup on. She grabs her leather coat and her Tesla gun. 'Cause she used to be a goth kid, now
Well,
she's
hello there. I'm Gail Carriger,
And I'm Piper J. Drake,
and you are listening to 20-Minute Delay,
a podcast about travel.
because travel never goes how you expect.
Ever, ever, ever.
All right, Piper, what are we talking about today?
Okay, so today we are talking about self-care on the go.
Which is a great topic. I'm really excited about it.
Yes, but first.
But first, where have we been this week? Where have you been this week? Oh, we've both been places this week. Oh, this is good. So where did you go, Piper?
I actually went someplace unusual for me. I did a staycation in town.
Ooh.
What kind of town? It's the next town over.
So you didn't stay at your actual apartment?
No, I did not. I went to a resort in Scottsdale. And when I say
Ooh.
resort, I mean like blitzed out, crazy pants, long, sprawling area, and pools in various places, and courtyards, and hidden spots, and a spa. Yeah,
Ooh. Are
it
we
was quite the
talking
resort.
swanky hotel room with lovely bathtub and big puffy pillows and the whole thing?
We're talking swanky hotel room, big bathtub, separate shower, big fluffy pillows, and they provide you with bowls for your dog.
Oh my God. Oh, of course you went to a dog-friendly place. Of course you did.
Of course I did. Puppy Corbin came with me, and he decided to hang out with me out on the balcony for writing, etc., because it was a staycation to get some productivity and writing done.
Nice. And you got a lot done?
Yes, and I also had a heart attack because he not only went on the balcony with me, but he walked through the protective fence to stand on the ledge with the pigeons.
Oh,
and I was like, no.
No,
Don't do
come
that.
Come back.
Yeah.
Well,
So we had puppy words.
I had a sort of similar thing. It wasn't really a staycation. It's my annual trip with my mother. We always go for her birthday to a hot springs that I have been going to for 35 years now, which is crazy because I'm only
Ooh.
29, so I have no idea. I've been going for 35 years.
We're all perpetually 29.
It's this great hot springs up in the hills, which frankly, it has not changed all that much in 35 years. It's all natural, no chlorine or anything. And yeah, so, obviously my mom started taking me when I was little, and I now take her up there. So we always
Can I give you a confession?
What's that?
So I have always been a fan of Japanese anime. So I was aware of hot springs because of the, dutiful, always going to have that trip to the hot spring episode in every anime that's ever out there.
Of course.
Of course. But I wasn't aware that the U.S. had hot springs until my friends, we'll call him Boots. That's an inside joke too from high school, but he is a field biologist out in Idaho.
Nice.
And I didn't know that they had hot springs until he was telling me about some adventure, some daily hike that he was taking with his dog and blah, blah, blah. And he was chilling out in some hot springs that he always stops at on this particular trail. And I was like, wait, hold up. Like, everything aside about your story and all of the shenanigans and the fun stuff that you're going to tell me about blah, 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 and like fish and fisheries and yada, yada. But hot spring, there's a hot spring in the U.S. I didn't realize that hot springs were a thing in the U.S. till he told me about them.
That's hilarious. Well, I grew up with them, obviously. California girl, hippie parents. So, yeah. And I've also been fascinated by plate tectonics my whole life because I went through earthquakes as a kid. So I was like, oh, right. Everywhere that there's earthquakes, there's probably also hot springs. And so that's a good trade-off. That's fair. That's fair.
That also explains why I never grew
yeah.
up with hot springs, because
So
I did not
There
live
you
in a
go.
place that
There
did the
you
whole
go.
earthquake thing.
Yeah. So I mean, there are exceptions. There are hotspots exceptions. You know, the places with volcanoes will also probably have hot springs.
Yes.
So
Yes.
anyway, so we went up there. It's a long drive. It's, you know, 3.5, 4 hours total. But we do it all the time, and it was great. It was real peaceful. I got some writing done, some work done. I always go there
Is it an
optimistic.
overnight trip?
No, it's 3 days.
Okay.
And I always optimistically bring my computer with me and hope I manage to do some work, and I did. But it's not really conducive to technology in any way, which yeah, because like for example, the power went out while we were there in the whole place. So, and then, you know, it takes an hour for the backup generator kick in, and then eventually maybe the power will come back again. And you know, it just happens sometimes when you're in the middle of nowhere. So yeah. But it was fun. It was a good trip. It's nice to occasionally have a trip where you're doing it for yourself, even if you're not going very far.
Yes. I mean, mine, even though I took Puppy Corbin with me, was definitely a writerly, let's get lots and lots of words kind of weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever done an unplug and do away with technology weekend in the last several years. I probably should. There's a lot of benefits there.
There is. I mean, this is completely off grid. It's high up in the mountains and then down into a valley, and there is no cell company is there. You cannot get cell coverage. Not even texting gets through. So you are off grid. I basically, I told my assistant, this is the landline telephone number of the place where I am staying, and you can leave a message for me there. Old-fashioned hotels, and that is how you get a hold of me if it's an emergency. But otherwise, you just cannot get a hold of me. There is electricity, so I had my computer and I could write. I mean, mostly there's electricity, but no internet, which, you know, sometimes is good for us authors to be denied Facebook and Twitter.
I would agree, but you have to be prepared for that, because I have known a lot of authors. Like, for example, I do the writing excuses, writing workshop and retreat almost every year now for the last couple of years. And it's on a boat. So internet is quite expensive, and it's very, very slow because you're on the ocean. Okay. And we get a large number or percentage of the attendees who weren't prepared for that. Like, they just kind of thought that there would be internet somewhere so that they could get access to, you know, whatever their writing backup is of choice, or their research, or their notes. Like, a lot of them use Google Docs, or a lot of them use Dropbox as like their backup system, but they don't have local copies. Yeah. They needed the internet connection to be able to get access to their writing.
Yeah, I always do that before I travel to a writing retreat in particular, regardless of whether I know there's going to be electricity or not. I work out of Dropbox, and so I always download the local and make sure that everything is up to date, on the theory that I'm just not going to have internet. And actually, it was the event that we met at. Piper and I met at a writing retreat, and the year before you were there, Piper, we went to this cabin that did not have good wireless at all. And a lot of the writers there were totally lost. They were completely not prepared for that. And admittedly, the cabin had said that it would have wireless, and then it just didn't. But I had been told we were staying at a cabin in the mountain, and I, as aforementioned hippie girl, was like, oh, will we even have electricity? I remember asking our organizer if I had to bring a sleeping bag. I was like, it's a cabin in the middle of nowhere. Like, how much
These are luxurious cabins in the little nowhere.
It turns out, of course, now we've been going regularly, and the cabins are quite luxurious. But
they're quite. Although we have managed to hit the router kind of hard with 20-something writers on that. Yeah. So I think that the router, the one, only had a max output of like between 10 and 14.
Yeah, there's no streaming.
Booting each other off. we kept booting each other off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I ended up just treating it most of the time like I was off grid anyway for that exact reason.
Exactly, same. I just didn't want to be frustrated with that. But I mean, that's something to know when you're going to go off the grid. I think that it is good to like have the ability to work locally.
Yeah, and you don't even realize, at least a lot of us don't even realize how much we're just automatically using wireless or cell data organically all the time. This is one of the things that I do when I'm traveling internationally, and perhaps we'll talk about this, but I don't use data when I travel internationally. I just don't bother to pay or turn it on because it's so expensive. So I just take my phone with me and have it in case of emergencies, and then I'll usually text. And I very rarely actually need my phone when I'm traveling internationally. But it is weird. It is weird not to go out into a foreign city and not automatically pull up Google Maps and just be like, oh, where am I going? What am I doing?
Yeah, no, I do data for my phone, but I do not do data for my laptop or writing utensils or technology. Like I have all my research with me. But I mean, that's a common writer thing to be like, oh, ha, 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 my search background probably has me on some watch list somewhere because I, research weird things.
Yep.
Writers nowadays, writers are so used to Googling that.
Yeah.
Or, your search browser of choice. That dates us a little bit. But you have to be able to say, okay, I have my notes here, or I had notes here, and be able to do with that and research, or make a note to keep going with the writing and research that later.
Yep. It's very true. It's very, very true. Well, we swayed a little bit, but maybe we should move on to our main topic.
And our topic is self-care on the go.
Yay! So this is a fun one. Now, okay, so I'm going to start us off with like my biggest hot tip, and this is super secret, you guys, so don't tell anybody. And that is that one of my self-care tricks is those sample packets that you can get in magazines, because they will often do like deep skin renewal or skin cream or body cream. And they are the perfect thing to stash for like an overnight flight or just stash in your carry-on because they're so little liquid. In my experience, they've never triggered TSA. And
Agreed.
I always get dry skin when I fly or even when I travel in general. Most of the time I go somewhere and my skin just freaks out in one direction or another. So for me, I stash those little skincare packets all over me when I'm traveling. And you have mentioned lip gloss in the past. I am a big Vaseline intensive care. And I know not everybody's into that, but for my lips, it works really, really well for traveling. So those are a couple of my literal on-the-go, in-flight, on the train, in transit, self-care things. What about you, Piper?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you about two. One's for me and one is for my partner and our producer Matt. So for me, I'm a little bit girly and my hair actually responds a lot to humidity or lack of humidity. So if you're in flight or on trains, a lot of times they're very dry, especially for air travel. And my hair, it's beautifully not frizzy, but it gets dry. It really, really gets dry, especially if I've recently done color. So the overnight thick conditioners freak me out a little bit to do at home because then I have to do my sheets or I have to try to stay on the pillow. Right. So I'd rather take them to a hotel.
Someone else's sheets.
Exactly. Someone else's sheets, someone else's pillow that this is soaking into. And do the overnight like leave-in conditioner at the hotel. And then that's also being rinsed out in their shower, which they're going to have to scrub down. So that's my particular travel self-care on the go kind of treat me thing is like the deep hair conditioners. And again, I get them in the same little travel sample packs. Usually I'm a Sephora Rouge VIB kind of girl. Of course. Of course. And they do, whenever you order online, they say pick 3 samples.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Those are the kinds of samples that I buy.
I always
but I get them for free.
If I do that, which isn't often, but if I do that, I pick the samples that I know are going to be good travel samples. Like I never pick a perfume sample or a lipstick sample or anything. I always pick something like deep cuticle oil is great. It doesn't matter your gender. Everybody's cuticles dry out when you're traveling and they have lovely little cuticle oils that just a little dollop on and rub it in and then when you're trying to sleep on a red eye, your hands aren't falling apart on you. I'm going to give an example of one of my self-care that's kind of like your hair thing before you get onto Matt's. and mine is my feet. So, and I think if you are, pounding the pavement at a sales conference or a festival, or if you're just walking a lot in a foreign city, in my case, it's because I have addictions to stilettos. I really love high heels. So I tend to walk around in pretty impossible shoes because I love them. But it does mean that at the end of the day, my feet are just miserable. And
they're wrecked.
Yeah, they're wrecked. And this is the biggest tip I can give anybody, which is if your feet are sore at the end of the night, you have to do this. It doesn't matter how late it is, how drunk you are.
Yeah.
20 minutes soaking in as the hottest water you can stand. And if you are lucky enough to be at a hotel that has a hot tub, that's okay, but it should usually be hotter. It really should be as hot as you can take it. And then I slather my feet with usually just the cheap hotel body lotion. And then I pull on fuzzy socks. Those fuzzy socks are specifically for this. And so you can just designate regular socks if you like, but they're going to get covered in lotion. But I pull it on, and then I will try to sleep at least for a little while with those socks on, or just lie and watch television or whatever. And I tell you, it saves my feet. They are never sore the next day, and any possible blisters or anything are dealt with just super hot water and then slathering with lotion. So that's my biggest self-care thing. And I have been very drunk, and I have sat on top of counters and stuck my feet into the sink because there was no
tub.
No tub. No, I've not yet broke a counter, but if I did, I would think it recompense for not having a bathtub. But yeah, and there are various stories of roommates coming in and being like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, 20 minutes soaking my feet. It has to happen every single time.
I would agree. I do back up that advice, especially if you've been pounding the pavement or in some crazy shoes. Yes. And sometimes there are even hotels that include in their toiletries bath salts.
Yeah. Oh,
if you got lucky, grab those.
I travel with I do travel with foot soak salts, or just or I'll take the little container that used to hold the foot salts and I'll just put baking soda in it, because you don't really want to travel with sort of unmarked white powder. So put it into my bath salts, put the baking soda in there, and I'll dump that into the tub before I soak my feet. And I also, because I do love a bath, and my apartment doesn't have a bathtub, I also travel with bath bombs, which are a great way to travel with a solid thing that you don't have to worry about TSA. And then you'll have a lovely, I really love like sort of strawberry smelling bath bombs or whatever. And you have a lovely little way to sort of spoil yourself after you land after a long flight or a long drive. So bath bombs are awesome.
So I'm going to share a self-care thing for guys that producer Matt does. And
okay. I'm excited.
He likes to take care of his teeth. And I give you a secret, because he was very, very bad for a couple of years of taking care of his teeth, and he had to pay for it with 4 root canals.
Oh no, tut.
So now he's very careful about it. And so some of the travel stuff that he brings, like if he can find mouthwash in like the Airport Business Lounge or in the USO, he does use mouthwash on a very regular basis while we're traveling. But he also has the little, they come in the travel areas, they're like little dental picks, not floss, but picks. And they let you get into the corners of your teeth and get things out. Like, so if you've been eating, our burrito protocol, and you've got shredded meat in there and that gets caught in your teeth, he likes to do that on the plane so that he has a reason to get up, stretch, go in the bathroom, clean his teeth, and throw that away. And that's part of his freshen up. And then sometimes he'll even bring teeth whitener if we're going to be on a red eye, because you've got to leave that on and just not mess with it. Right.
Yeah.
So it's the perfect thing to have on a red eye, because what else the heck are you going to do?
It's a good idea. It'll stop you from snacking gratuitously too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
I travel
the only
with
thing
those.
is you can't use the ones with like the ultraviolet light because then you keep everybody up.
That's true. That's true. I travel with those individually wrapped toothpicks. I kind of tend to stash them in lots of my different kits for exactly the same reason. Just because, if you're trapped on an aisle or a window seat, you can kind of subtly just like make sure you don't have stuff in your teeth with a little toothpick and put it in a
Yeah, it
little
actually
garbage
gets
bag.
painful for him if stuff gets stuck between his teeth because, he's got sensitive gums now. And so if something gets stuck, it's actually quite painful for him. So, having those little picks with him just to get rid of that it makes him a much more pleasant travel person.
So do you have any other things you do to try and spoil yourself when you're on the road?
I am a bath bomb kind of girl as well. I am also very brand oriented when it comes to bath bombs. For some reason, I'm always tempted to go into Lush because it looks so edible. And to me, bath bombs should be food grade. I don't know why.
I like to smell like food too. I'm a big fan of that.
I'm a big fan of ginger. I really, really like, they had this one bath bomb. I haven't seen it in a while. That smelled like Granny Smith apples and toffee.
Oh, wow. That sounds like fall. That sounds great.
And yeah, so that was fantastic in the fall. And then most recently, I've really liked what the Lush bath bomb called Lord of Misrule.
Of course you do.
It's green on the outside and it has like kind of a minty smell. But when you break it open or when you drop it in all on its own, it turns the bath wine red and it smells like Bordeaux. Or like Merlot. It smells like a red wine.
I guess that is part of like a spoil yourself and spa treatment. We've talked about a little bit about this before, like whether you do a glass of wine when you're relaxing or something. Are there foods that you allow yourself when you travel that you don't like, that are like a spoil yourself because I'm traveling food?
I only order dessert at restaurants really when I'm traveling.
Yeah, that's so cool. I think there's something about making the travel, even if it's obligatory for business, a little bit special. Like sort of trying to celebrate the fact that, yeah, I might be away from home and I feel like I'm away from home too much. But, there are some good things going on that I want to appreciate. Mine is fried food. I don't eat it when I'm actually physically traveling. Like I won't eat fried food at an airport or anything, but I'm usually just not someone who really likes fried food, but for some reason when I'm traveling, I often get or eat other people's fries. And I don't know why that's a travel thing, but for me, it's a travel thing. It's like, I can spoil myself with a couple fries because I'm in Chicago or whatever.
Oh yeah. And I have to admit, like another thing that I order all the time when I'm traveling, that's kind of a self-care thing, which is odd, is beet salads.
Oh, interesting.
Because I'm never going to make that at home. Do you have any idea how much of a pain in the butt it is to prepare a beet salad at home? So I'm always looking for it. If there is a beet salad on the menu, and usually it's like beets with like goat cheese or maybe some candied pecans.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I will get that. I will always get that because, it's a pain in the butt to prepare at home. And it's this fresh, nice thing that's super special. And I also know it's going to do something to my biology.
Yeah,
for those of you who at home that don't know, it does some things. And when you go to the bathroom, you start to wonder if you should go to the emergency room. Don't look it up. Beets do that to you. It's okay.
It's also supposed to be, although I don't know the science of truth behind this or not, aren't beets supposed to be slightly good for your blood pressure? Which I suppose, especially if you're going to be flying, could only be helpful.
You're always looking for things to lower your blood pressure when you fly as much as I do.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll leave our main topic and we will get on to our gadgets. Gadget picks.
Yes.
Woohoo.
You go first because you were talking about it, your gadget.
All right. Well, my gadget is the bath bomb, and Piper's already mentioned her kind. I just get mine off of Amazon, and they come from Spa Girl or Spa Pure or Spa Girl Bath and Spa, something like that. And I really love the strawberry shortcake one. It's just like a strawberry smell with a little hint of vanilla. It's not too cakey smelling to me. and it's real fresh and lovely, and it's pink, and I just find that they come in halves. They don't come as whole bombs, and I find just a little half of that, and that just doesn't matter how seedy the hotel is. Sometimes the hotel is pretty seedy, but that bath bomb just makes everything smell lovely, and it feels very civilized. So,
as a quick tip, always rinse out your bathtub before you fill it up to do your bath bomb.
Oh my God, yes, absolutely.
Just because it's a hotel doesn't mean that necessarily the tub was cleaned thoroughly. So it's just a good idea to rinse out your bathtub before you try to fill it to do your bath bomb.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And guys like this as much as girls do. I know.
Yes. Of course they do.
Oh yeah. Producer Matt really likes to soak out. And he'll find the hot tub wherever it is, but sometimes he'll come back to the room and just soak in the bathtub.
And there are some very manly whiskey and bourbon bath bombs. So it's okay.
More food. Apples are perfectly fine.
Yes,
Lemons perfectly fine.
And
actually, there's one that he likes from Lush that's I forget what they call it, but it's orange. He always likes everything orange
or something. Yum.
It's not a creamsicle. It's orange and ginger and patchouli. It's an earthy smell rather than a sweet smell. And he likes that a lot.
And the other thing is that the bath bomb mostly makes the water and the bathroom smell. That doesn't really linger very much.
Yeah, you don't end up
skin.
sweating that out for days. Yeah, no. And I would say, here's a question for you. Speaking of gadgets and bath bombs, one of the things that I was first taught to do was to take a bath bomb and then take a little chunk of good bubble bath. Lush in particular, but some other places, they do bubble cakes. So it's solid. It's not liquid. And you just kind of crumble it under the running water. And what we have found out is that a very small amount crumbled under the water is more than enough bubbles to fill a bathtub. Many a time has there been that I've overflowed the bathtub because I used a third of a cake of bubble cake as opposed to less because I thought bubbles cool, right?
Yeah. Well, I am not actually a big bubble bath girl, but what I will do and what feels really decadent to me is I will drizzle a little bit of a nut oil in the tub because, again, I have super dry skin. And if I'm in a hotel, I'm not cleaning the tub, which is why
that's what I was thinking.
So I travel with koi nut or macadamia nut body oil often, or just unemulsified coconut oil, and just drizzle a little bit of that in the tub along with my bath bomb. And I don't know, it kind of gently coats your skin as it feels very decadent. It's like having rose petals in the water or something.
Yeah, actually, producer Matt likes this Aveda composition oil for men. And sometimes I'll sneak that along as a treat for him. He'll never pack it for himself. Never. He will never pack it for himself, but I will pack it for him sometimes, and he'll put that, we'll drizzle that in the bathtub because his skin gets super cracked and dry, especially his feet.
Yes.
And, it can become painful. Those cracks, especially if you let them go for too long, they can open up to the air and become actually quite painful. So I pack that Aveda for Men composition oil because not only is it perfectly reasonable for a guy, but I like the smell, so I'll wear it.
So what's your gadget this week? So we went over mine. Mine was strawberry shortcake bath bombs from Spa Girl, and you can find those on Amazon. What's yours, Pape?
Yes. So I was talking earlier about spoiling myself with that leave-in hair conditioning, deep conditioning item. So my gadget is that I want to try out. I used to use this, the samples from Phyto Care for the deep hair leave-in kind of conditioner, and that always worked really well. But I've heard really good things about this more reasonably priced Caviar anti-aging overnight hair rescue.
Ooh.
So I'm really thinking about actually picking up a travel bottle of that because it comes in a 3.4 ounce size.
Nice.
And actually trying it out and buying it on purpose.
Wow. That's a big step.
Because I've heard really good things.
Hey. Well, you might find a new thing. That's one of the things about being a frequent traveler is I don't know about you, but I can guess you're like me in this. I'm always looking for the thing that will combine two gadgets better so it's smaller and more efficient. And I'm always looking for like a better version of the thing that I'm addicted to because I'm in fear that the thing I'm addicted to is going to go away and I have to find the better version anyway. So I'm always ooh, must find a better, skin oil or what have you.
And I'm always looking for international brands because I travel internationally. So sometimes I'm not going to be able to find the thing that I'm used to using in another country. Yeah. So then what do I do?
Exactly. All right. So so what's the one you're going to try out again? What's it called?
It's by Alterna Hair Care, and it's their Caviar Anti-Aging Overnight Hair Rescue. It's still on the pricey side. Feel free to go to the drugstore and look for a similar overnight hair rescue kind of deep conditioning treatment. It's a travel-sized container of this stuff, and I want to see how it goes for the overnight hair care fun.
Good. Well, I look forward to your report on its success or lack thereof.
Why, thank you.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this episode, everybody.
And my brain has to pick back up again as to how we're going to close the episode. Yes, thanks to producer Matt for putting together this podcast.
And thank you to John Anelio, who loaned us the music from his song, Steampunk Girl.
This has been Piper J. Drake.
And this is Gail Carriger. Happy travels.
Bye-bye.
So she's putting on the goggles and a roller guy. She checks her pocket watch just to rock it back. She laces up her boots and puts her makeup on. She grabs her leather coat and a Tesla gun. 'Cause she used to be a goth kid, but now she's a steampunk. She used to be a goth kid, but now she's a steampunk. She used to be a goth kid, but now she's a steampunk.